Can you believe it's already almost July? Half of the year is pretty much over. That is so crazy. Hi everyone, I'm Jackie and welcome back to my channel, Enjoying Life's Journey. Today I wanted to budget out the next quarter of the year, which is going to be July, August, and September. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment below. Have you put together your budget for the next quarter, and how did you do this last quarter? So if you've been following the channel, our primary financial goal for this first half of the year has been to save up for a down payment for the house. The second half of the year will be to continue bumping up our emergency fund. So what are we looking at real quick? We are looking at this new yearly budget. I've actually budgeted out the entire year. I actually have up to probably 8 years projected of a budget using this yearly layout right here that we're looking at right now, just so I can kind of see ahead, what are those goals and how are we going to reach them. I budgeted everything out for the year, and then I saw that One Big Happy Life, I believe that's their channel, they had budgeted out 5 years, and they had it laid out like this side by side. So I really liked that because you could get a good yearly snapshot at everything. So I can do a lot of updates in here. And then, like I said, today we're going to budget out the quarter. So the first thing I do is I'm going to come on and I'm going to look at what I have projected for the quarter, and then I can make sure that when I put them into what you guys see here, then the month broken down, so then I can budget out each paycheck. So real quick, I'm going to come back to my year view really fast. So again, we are in June, so this is kind of what's working right now. But so for July, what we have budgeted out is we have Ricky's base pay. We've gone ahead and changed this, so this reflects his base pay before taxes are taken out. July he has 4 paychecks, August he has 5 paychecks, and then September he has 4 paychecks, so that's what you see here. They are back working their 10 hours of overtime every week, so that's what is reflected here. So again, the 4 weeks of overtime, 5 weeks of overtime, and 4 weeks of overtime. Myself for July, so far I'm only anticipating about $31. August and September, it's too far out for me being self-employed. Those, I kind of just see that number on a more monthly basis, so I'm just going to leave those blank for the purpose of projecting out for the quarter. And then moving on down here, I've changed this, so this is basically taxes and what the categories I like to call pay yourself first. So I have on here the estimated taxes that will be taken out. This is a combination of federal, state, Social Security, and Medicare. That's for, here in the U.S. So that's what I have for taxes. Like I mentioned, our goal is to save about $5,000 by the end of July. So in July, you'll see that our goal is to save another $1,055. And let me scroll over real quick here to the side. You'll see right here that that should put us at $5,013. So we should reach our goal by the end of July. Originally, we weren't sure we were going to reach that goal. Other months, you can see here, I went ahead and now we're going to start putting it back down here, which is the emergency savings, the emergency fund down here. So basically, we're plugging away for the down payment of the house, and then we're going to continue to fund the emergency fund. We want to get up to 6 months, which would be about $10,800. So, we should be able to basically save about $1,600 in August, and then about only $590 in September. Freedom Savings / 401k. So now this is primarily just Ricky's 401k. So currently we have 3% being taken out and automatically put into his 401k, and that's before taxes. So basically we're looking at 112, and then 140, and then 112 for that. And then for reinvesting in the business, and then Ricky and myself, we basically are just doing $100 across the board. Once we have that emergency fund saved, and we have some of our other sinking funds that we want to do, like the girls fund and a car replacement fund and a dream fund, once we start having that stuff going, then we can start maybe giving ourselves a little bit more money to spend, but we're going to try to keep it down. And then in addition, once we're in the house, we're going to try to start paying extra on the house. So that's what you're going to see down here. We're going to see some changes. So giving, same thing, we're just going to keep it at $100 for each of the months. We'll see how we end up doing. Now right here, I went ahead and changed this. I put rent / mortgage. right now, the beginning of the year here, everything that you see has been our rent. Now, we are anticipating that we will start mortgage payments in September. That we don't know for sure. We haven't officially got the house yet, so we don't know officially when we close. Usually when you close on a house, your first mortgage payment isn't for at least 1 month out, so we'll see. But our lease for the apartment is through basically paying through September. So this right here in August would be to cover us through September. So we'll see what ends up happening. The same thing is, we are estimating $1,200, and that is at the high end. That's if we had homeowners association in addition to your regular principal and interest and private mortgage insurance. And this is based off of what we were quoted for, basically finding a house for $170,000. So we'll see. You know, we're looking in neighborhoods that don't have a homeowners association, so it's a good chance that this might only be like $1,100. So we'll kind of just, you know, we'll see what it ends up being. But for now, that's what we're gonna anticipate for this quarter. We're gonna see. Again, we have renter's insurance because we are in the apartment. Once we are in the house, this number here also includes homeowners insurance. So you would see here renter's insurance would then end up going away. So we'll kind of we'll have to see how that plays out. Groceries, we always budget basically $10 a day, so $70 a week. So we have a 4-week month is going to give us 280, a 5-week month gives us 350, and then, you know, 208. So this is what we're budgeted for groceries. For July, we're not going to budget anything for personal care because, you know, we just had our haircuts and everything. The girls and I had our haircuts. And then for August and September, we'll go ahead and put $50 there. The school year is going to be starting, so we want to make sure we can get Arcadia a new backpack and some clothes, and Elsa get some new clothes and stuff, so that's what we're going to make sure we budget out for that. And then household, we're just going to do $25 across the board. Pretty much all we end up buying is, you know, paper towels, maybe dish soap, things like that. Nothing too crazy. Once we are in the house, though, you know, depending on what we might need to get, if we need to get a refrigerator or a washer and dryer and all that stuff, that will come out of, you know, virtually the house money that we're saving, things like that. So we'll keep you posted on what all that end up being, but you always have to try to project the best that you can moving forward. Ricky's cell phone is $35, so that's basically what we have budgeted. We are anticipating the last 2 months in the apartment to be about $100. I bumped up, once we're in the house, I just basically doubled what we were paying, what we paid this time last year. We paid, you know, I think we were, plus this is including water. So, sorry you guys, I'm a little all over. This up here is our rent and water in the apartment. So our water is $60. I'm anticipating that when we're in the house, the water will be $100, and that's just because I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work in the city that we'll be living in. When we were renting a house in Maricopa, we had to pay $100 every month no matter how much we use, and then we had to pay our usage on top of it. So we literally would only spend like $3 on the actual usage of our water, but we had to pay that base $100. So I am just assuming that's how it's going to be, worst case scenario. However, you know, it could, you know, it might only be $40 or it might only be $60. I don't know. So I wanted to over budget. I want to over project for that first month that we're paying in the house. I'm not sure. And also with the electricity, like I mentioned, I went ahead and just doubled, roughly doubled what the electricity would have been at that time. So, you know, yeah, we'll just have to see how that ends up going. All right, so for gas, basically for the months that have 4 weeks, we're budgeting 140, and if it has 5 weeks, we're doing 165. So we'll see how we do with that. That's another thing, is that we are actually looking for houses that are closer to Ricky's work. Currently, right now, he drives 32 miles, you know, one way. So he's driving like 64 miles a day for work. And we're looking in neighborhoods that put us about 12 miles closer. So that's going to shave off, you know, about 22 miles a day. August, September, depending on when we move into the house, this could go down. Car insurance, it's $122.13. That's what we're putting it at. However, once we move, depending on the neighborhood, you know, they always calculate the neighborhood and the area, so we'll have to see if that ends up staying the same, or if it goes up, or if hopefully it will go down. That would be nice. We're going to go ahead and budget for the month of August. We're going to go ahead and budget for an oil change. So we have $32 there for the car, for car maintenance. Our motorcycle insurance is $21.16. Again, once we move, this could change a little bit. We'll have to see. Arcadia's commission job's $28 for all 3 months, and then Elsa's commission job's $12 for all 3 months. Now, Elsa will be turning 4 at the end of August, so that they can earn their age every week. So she could earn $4 a week instead of 3. The other thing is Arcadia is actually doing karate during the summer, and it's $8 a week. So she's basically using her commission jobs to pay for it, which is really cool. She said she wanted to do it. So I went ahead and I increased it, $32, during that. So I'm actually going to adjust that right now. I'm going to change that to $32 for these 2 months because that's when she was doing the karate. So I want to make sure we have that budgeted. So change that to 16. Okay, so we're gonna adjust that. So I'll have to adjust something at the bottom here in a minute. The Chase card, we're basically just, we're spending 20, paying the full 20, and that's just until we're in the house. The family's life insurance, and this is also Ricky's disability insurance, so I have that budgeted out for $32.16 for the 4-week paycheck, and then $40.20 for that, so that's budgeted out there. Home maintenance and all this stuff, we're adding this, so this will start coming probably in the future months once we have an idea of what we might need to do. And then fun, we're gonna try to keep it at just $100. Now, because I changed that, I added that $4. That's just gonna come out of these saving numbers real quick. So let me adjust those. All right, so then I have my zeros. So I really like that I saw the other channel doing this because it really helped out. So now I can change things a lot faster and I can see everything as a whole. I can see my goals for the year as a whole. I have tabs down here at the bottom that you can't see, but I have for each year. So I have 2019 through 2025, and those are projections based on Ricky becoming a pipe fitter, getting a yearly review, and then Ricky becoming a welder within that time frame. So those are all estimates. Also, that's with him working these overtimes. They are going to be working some Saturdays as well, so these numbers could be adjusted. So basically, this is the rough idea of what the quarter is going to look like. Like I mentioned, a few things that might change is if Ricky does work Saturdays, those would be added in here as overtime. And then, like I mentioned, once we officially find the house and we move in, these numbers right here, the mortgage, the water and the electricity could be different. We're just, so I'm, like I said, I'm kind of just trying to budget on the high end, and I'm budgeting that with our mortgage payment starting in September. So the goal is to be in a house by August. So, say we close and we're in the house at the beginning of August, our first mortgage payment wouldn't be due till September. So that helps us out here. So basically, even though we'd still have to pay our last month rent in the apartment, that's fine. We just still be paying something every single month as opposed to getting a month where we don't pay anything. So what I do from there, once I have it all planned out, like I said, is I have to go through and do my month. So I have July here. So I had here what I budgeted on that form, and then I go through and I just budget out each of Ricky's paychecks. So I do weekly budgets on this channel if you guys aren't familiar. So stay tuned. You'll see me budget out. I try to budget out at least 2 of these weekly budgets for you every single month so you can see like how I do it. And I also come back through and I do a budget report on how I did for the entire month, and then I budget plan each month as well, so you guys can kind of see how we do it. All right, so I kind of moved my screen, I moved down what you guys can see, so now you can see all these tabs that I have at the bottom, okay? So you can see I have, every single month on its own tab. Now, originally, when I did my yearly budget, what I did was I did a base budget, I did a template for a 4-paycheck month, and then I did a template for a 5-paycheck month. And then what I did was I would copy this whole thing. So I would left click, highlight it, and I would copy the whole thing. I would right click, say copy, I would go down to a new tab, and then I would paste it over there. But I found out a faster, easier way to do it thanks to Dennis over on the TruFinacials YouTube channel. He's also another personal finance channel. He lives here in Arizona as well, so we've been chatting about doing a collaboration video, so you guys will have to stay tuned and see. But I highly recommend checking out his channel. He does budget videos as well. Their situation is a little bit different than ours, as they do not have a mortgage payment. He was able to buy his home mortgage free, and then they do have some debt that they're working on. Similar incomes, different dynamic. You know, it's him and his wife, where we have a family of 4. You know, so a little bit different. But I learned a really cool, like I said, a cool, fast way to do something at the bottom here, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So an easier way to do it, say you had this as your base template, like I mentioned, for your 4 paycheck month or whatever, you could come down to the bottom here. You would basically left click on the tab itself, and then you would come up to move or copy, and you would select that, and then you would click this box right here, and you say create a copy of it, and then you, right here, you can see all of the tabs that I have, okay? So I have, you know, our investing portfolio stuff, our net worth thing, our cash flow for the whole year, and then I have each individual month. So right now, this is the September budget, but say I want to create, now I want to get ready for November, then I would just highlight on the September one. I have create a copy. I say okay. This might pop up because it has other things that are kind of named the same. You just say yes. So then it will show here. We have September 2008 2. That's the second copy, right? So now I have a September, which is the one, and I have this one. So I'm going to, I basically would just rename this October, and then I have my base template. Thank you, Dennis, for sharing that on your last budget video, because I learned something new. So that's why I encourage you guys, always learn from other people, not just here on YouTube, but like I mentioned, yes, we follow Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps, but I also read financial books from The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, from T. Harv Eggert. I listen to other books from Tony Robbins and Rich Dad. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I read a bunch of different personal finance books, and I use what kind of works for me. And then I also watch other people here on YouTube, and I watch their budget videos and see, you know, what can I learn, because I got this original template from Jackie over on Gazelle Intense. I almost forgot. So I did my original budget based on her her budget, which was just the budget in the actual column, and then I added in my weeks. Same thing, I added my sinking fund tracking and my account tracking over on the side here instead of down on the bottom. So everyone has a little bit different way of doing it, so I encourage you to kind of look at everybody, see what works for you, utilize it. Same thing, like I said, situations are a little different. Dynamics of your family might be a little different. The area you live might be a little different. So it's fun to, you know, watch everybody and see how everybody's doing. And like I said, to have that community and cheer each other on and do that. So yeah, so Dennis, if you're watching, thank you for giving me that tip. Yeah, you guys, so that's the quarterly budget for July, August, and September. Like I said, the biggest things that could affect the budget is basically the house. We're gonna do, you know, once we're shopping. I'm filming this a little early for you guys. This is actually June 11th when I'm filming it, but you guys are going to see it on Friday, where I'm actually going to be in Las Vegas at the travel conference, a business conference, so I'm super excited about that. But I wanted to make sure I had, you know, Fridays I do some type of budget video for you guys, so I wanted to make sure I had that up, and I was like, wow, it's already the quarter ready to go. When we get back from that trip, we will officially be house hunting. I'm super excited. I have, you know, a few little videos that I will be doing on the house series, so stay tuned for that. I'm also going to have, you know, I'm starting to go over the baby steps individually with you guys on Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps and how we've completed some of them or how we plan on completing the ones that we're going to be moving on to. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Like I mentioned before, leave a comment below. How is the next quarter of the year going to look? How did this last quarter of the year look for you guys? So as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!